Both got one win on the board so far. Selt from 3 matches. And Milkins from 2. So the win probably of more importance to Selt. If he was to lose and go into the second day with only 1 win from 4, and chances are he'd probably have to win both of his matches tomorrow against Ben Wollaston and Anthony McGill. Who've both been in pretty good form today. He is on this blue, but it's a delicate little shot. He's very close to it. Doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball. Simple little screw back. Well, I thought he might play on the red to the middle. Instead, he's just stunned across. He may well have been watching his last match on this table against Dave Gilbert. Finished just a few minutes ago. He was 1-0 up in that match and leading 39-0 in the second, but it all turned on a missed blue when he was perhaps focusing a bit more on developing a couple of reds. And really from there, Gilbert was pretty much in control. Closed it out with a break of 77.
Thank you. 21.
A bit awkward at the moment.
27.
The pink not ideally situated. The black up on the brown spot, so he'd love to remedy that, get the black back in its own spot.
28.
Nice split. He's on one to the middle. Looked as though he'd be on one to the right corner, but then another red has blocked that. The one to the middle is fine.
26. Yeah, sure. 37.
Well, at first glance, it looks like a really good chance to win the frame in one go here. It's going to be hard to sustain this, with the pink and black situated as they are. So it would take a very good effort to win the frame here.
42. $48.
He can pop the green to the middle, but by no means guaranteed position on a red. So it may just be the roll-up.
Black ball. Matthew Selt, 49.
Well, didn't play the roll-up, but opted for a different type of safety shot. And did say it would be difficult to sustain that break with the high-value colours placed as they were. And it did catch up with them eventually, but it was a good effort to get to 49 from that position. Milkins acknowledging a bit of good fortune there. That red got a little nudge towards the pocket.
Great. Broke Milkins 1.
But Milkins' remorse over that fluke didn't extend so far. And he wasn't willing to stick Selt in a bit of bother behind the green. Sometimes in a situation like that you just have to hit it at pace and hope that the ball somehow runs safe, and it almost worked for Selt there.
Eight.
Milkins looking a little despondent, but it's hardly a disastrous position. He's still got a chance to keep the break going.
Nine. Sixteen.
Can make the game look very easy at times, Milkins. Can be very quick to see the shot, get down and play it. And sometimes looks as though he doesn't understand what all the fuss is about. As if it's the easiest game in the world.
24.
Really a player with a lot of natural talent. And we saw glimpses of it at times today, particularly in his win over Mark Davis. Had a few big breaks towards the end of that. We've been 49-0 down. It's back in with a fighting chance now in this frame. Big sticking point, indeed the only real sticking point, is the brown close to the baulk cushion. We'll be starting to think about that now.
$36.
Well, he's finished very straight on the brown. Is he going to try and force it? It looks like he is, to go down for the blue. Well, it was a big ask, really. Well, he really shouldn't have missed that one. Oh, really good shot. You may have heard there Robert Milkins acknowledging that. He's always very quick to do that, to be fair, Milkins. He's very congratulatory of his opponent's good shots. Now, having potted that excellent brown, Selt needs one more ball to take the opening frame. So he's not over the line yet. Milkins still in it. But not for much longer. So the break of 49 put Matt Selt very much in charge of the frame. Robert Milkins got in, made 41, but came a bit straight on the brown, missed it at pace, and eventually, after a few more shots from both players, it's Matt Selt who's clinched the opening frame. He leads Rob Milkins by 1 frame to 0.
Second frame. Roll Milkins.
That's landed beautifully. Just needed that cue ball to keep running. It's come the right side of the blue. So could be off and running here again in the second frame.
Six.
Matt Selt, a player with a really good history in the Championship League. Came into it for the first time 2 years ago after his good friend Neil Robertson withdrew on the eve of Group 2. Selt came in, had an extraordinary couple of days, played 7 deciding frame finishes, the last of which was in the group final against Judd Trump, and ended up winning the group. Only played in one group last year, only had one chance, came in Group 7 and won that as well. So both times he's played in the Championship League, he's got through to the winners group at his first attempt. And this isn't something you see every day. The pocket is broken. Now you can see the netting is fine, but the runner underneath it has come away. I think the referee, Rob Spencer, wants to call for the table maintenance men. That Selt was making some sort of attempt to fix it himself. So you don't see that every day. In fact, I can literally say I've never seen that in a professional snooker match. Not ideal, really. Selt was just starting to get into a little bit of early rhythm in this frame. So I don't expect we'll have too long of a delay. I remember I used to play on an old 4-foot Steve Davis table 30 years ago with little plastic pockets, and this used to happen every few frames. The pocket would come out of its socket. Eventually we got around the problem by just gluing the pocket in. As I say, don't ever remember seeing a situation like this in a professional snooker match. When the pocket got damaged there, the black actually ran all the way across the room. It was down near Matt Selt's seat. It could have ended up running under one of those curtains you see there. Could have led to a quite comical scene of spot the ball, effectively. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. I assume that Rob Spencer has gone to alert Tournament Director Emily Fraser. I'm surprised we haven't seen someone come out to deal with this yet, because table fitters, I know we're sitting in a room right next to where the matches are being played. That's Selt finding a very interesting way to pass the time as we wait. And this is Paul. Has been doing this job for some years now. Had enough problems to deal with today. He was watching his beloved Liverpool dropping 2 points against Sunderland in the Premier League earlier this evening. And he finds himself in the unusual situation of being called to the table in the middle of a frame. Anyway, hopefully that's done the job. And after one of the most unusual interruptions we've ever seen in a snooker match, we can now get on with it. Yeah, I was just thinking there for a moment. Was Matt Selt certain whether he was on a red or a colour? Seen matches interrupted mid-frame for all sorts of reasons over the years. Rain falling through the roof onto the table. Drips of oil falling from the light fitting above the table. Even a fire evacuation at the Crucible once. But anyway, Selt has put this latest unusual interruption behind him.
36.
Hasn't let it affect his concentration, and he's played a cracking shot there.
37.
This is a really good chance now to win the frame in one go. Oh, that is such bad luck. He'd done all the hard work, and then gets a horrible contact like that.
What he shot 44.
And before he'd even got out of his chair, Milkins was asking for the cue ball to be cleaned. And that great shot that Selt played to open up the Reds, well, Milkins could be the one to benefit from it now. Well, I don't know if you really need to apologise when a bit of good fortune gets you position. I think it's seen as etiquette if you fluke a pot. I think if you get a nice flick that gives you position, I don't really think you need to get to the stage of apologising for things like that. Selt might be feeling a bit of deja vu. In his previous match against Dave Gilbert, he won the opening frame and had a decent lead going in the second before an unexpected miss. He hardly really got a look in after that. Could history be repeating itself in this match? Well, that's just an awful shot from Milkins.
37.
As I've said before, he's a very natural, fluent player. Sometimes maybe not entirely unrelated to that, his concentration just goes a little.
37.
One good long pot here from Selt. He could be right back in with a chance to clinch this for a 2-0 lead. Balls are sitting nicely. Really good shot, that. So pink takes the lead to 14.
So.
Couple more reds and high value colours. See Selt over the line. Well, by taking the green, he's going to need the yellow as well.
$80. $20.
Well, it is just the one snooker required. So the frame not entirely over yet. Should be now, though. Well, Milkins is playing on. Needs two snookers to tie. That's the end of that. So Selt was in first with 44, got a horrible kick on a red. Milkins stepped in, made 37, ran out of position, played a poor safety. Selt got in, knocked in a long red, put Milkins at the snooker's required stage, and eventually got back in to clinch it. And so, a frame which had the extraordinary interruption of the pocket being broken, finishes with Selt taking a 2-0 lead.
Third frame. Matthew Selt.
Robert Milkins has already played 2 deciding frame finishes today. He's going to have to take this match to another decider if he's to win it. So as in both of the previous frames, Selt gets in first. And both of those times he's gone on to make a 40 plus. And the ball's sitting pretty well here. And if he can close out this match, 2 wins from 4, I think he'll be happy enough with that at the end of today. Generally, I think players are looking to get to 3 wins. You're not guaranteed to get through with 3 wins. You're not even mathematically guaranteed to get through with 4. Although nobody's ever actually won 4 and missed out. Indeed, given how close this group is turning out to be, 2 wins could be enough, as it has been a few times. In the first couple of years of Championship League, you could have draws because matches were played over 4 frames, but since that was scrapped, only been 3 instances of players winning 2 matches and getting through to the group semi-finals. Sean Murphy, Andrew Higginson and Judd Trump was the most recent one 2 years ago.
Seventy. $18. $25.
Has he come far enough? That's what he's rushing round to see. I think he's all right. Maybe not. It's just a little careless. He's asking for the white to be cleaned, is he? He's saying there's a hair on the white ball. Fairly safe to say it isn't one of his own. I don't really know what happened there. Did he think that the black went and it didn't, or was he trying to put it in with a bit of side? Anyway, whatever he was trying to do, it didn't work. Milkins has a reprieve.
5. 6. 11. 12. 80.
There's a red on the side cushion, but he could have the frame won before he gets to it. So it's a real chance. That's not a great shot. Come a bit short on the blue.
Twenty-four.
Well, he knows he's missed a good chance there. He's back to only 2 points behind, so it's very much game on in this third frame. And that is simply awful. Played a lot of very loose shots in his last match, just before this one, against Dave Gilbert, which he lost 3-1. Certainly played one there. He's handed Milkins. Oh dear. Well, as awful as Selt's safety shot was, Milkins' attempted pot to the middle was arguably even worse. Has he maybe had a stroke of ill-deserved luck? If you miss a ball as easy as that, you really deserve to leave something on. That's gone pretty well. He picked out the plant, got it. He's landed on a colour. Okay, so he's pushed the red into baulk.
5.
There's enough there for him to win the frame without that.
12.
It's not been a brilliant performance from Selt. This is very often how he tends to win matches. He isn't the heaviest of scorers by any means. Still quite a way short of reaching 100 career centuries. But when matches are somewhat more bitty like this, he's pretty effective at winning them. And the fact that he's come up for the blue here means he's going to need that last red. He'd finished a bit straight on the blues, so decided the green was the better option. It's worked out pretty well. So now this is match ball. The way he's going to play it, though, if he misses it, every chance he's going to leave it, Milkins could steal. So really, the whole frame looks to hinge on this shot. He has to play it slowly to pot it, and in doing so, if he misses it, he will leave it. But is he even playing the pot? Well, fair enough. If he didn't feel it was the shot, then he's made the right choice. Has he got the pace to get in behind the black? I think he has the line. Well, he didn't quite have the line. Might just about have had the pace. In the lap of the gods a bit now. Oh, and they've smiled on him here. Milkins has acknowledged as much. Has he fluked it? He has. He got down and played the shot very quickly and casually, but it's worked out well for him. He's fluked the last red. And now, you have to fancy him to clear up from here. And a match that looked to be in its final throws just a few moments ago. Could now be heading for a fourth frame. Oh dear. Milkins has played some absolutely dreadful shots in this frame, and I'm afraid that was another one. Oh, that's another dreadful shot. And it's probably going to be his last. Oh, can you believe that? Simple shot to clinch frame and match. Pots the yellow, but somehow contrives to land behind the blue. Well, talk about making it easy for your opponent. You put them at the snooker's required stage, and as you do it, you lay the snooker yourself. So again, Selt needs one more ball. Well, if that cue ball had run maybe half an inch further, Selt would have been on the green, probably would have potted it, and they would have shaken hands by now. Instead of which, Milkins has cleared up to win it on the black. An extraordinary frame, that. And somehow Rob Milkins has won it, and he's still alive in the match. Matt Selt now leads 2-1. 1-1 over on the other table between Ryan Day and Ben Wollaston. And Day is leading by 50 points to 0 in the third frame. Wollaston's had a pretty good day. Lost his first match 3-0 to Anthony McGill, but he's had 2 wins since then against Rob Milkins and Mark Davis. And as for Day, well, 1 win out of 3 so far. But he's in good shape in that one. Anyway, back here, a 4th frame that nobody would have expected a few minutes ago. That really was an act of extraordinary clumsiness by Matt Selt. It'll be interesting to see now how that affects his mindset, because he knows this should be all over by now. He'll be absolutely kicking himself. He ends up losing this match now. Looked as though he was going to finish the day with 2 wins out of 4, and he still might, of course. If he needlessly turns that into only 1 win out of 4, he'll be very cross with himself. Oh, we've seen some extraordinary things in this match. Some very easy balls being missed. The frame being interrupted because the pocket had broken. In many respects, the strangest thing of all was Selt's incredibly bad positional shot from yellow to green. That was looking like a pretty good shot, but the red has run just too far. It's gone past the middle. If it had pulled up a bit sooner, Milkins had been on it, that would have been a really good frame winning chance. a really good shot. Now, can he put what happened at the end of the last frame out of his mind and get the job done this time?
Eight. No. Sixteen. Seven.
Well, they're all there for the taking, but we haven't seen any big breaks in this match. We need to see a pretty big one for Selt to win it at this visit. 49, which Selt made on his first scoring visit, the first frame, remains the highest we've seen in this contest. Having effectively thrown it away at the end of the previous frame, it would be a good effort if Selt could finish the job here. Semi-finalist in the Championship League in both of the last 2 years. Struggling a bit this season. So a good performance here.
38.
Might just give him that bit of confidence that could help him start turning his season around.
39.
And if he could get his second win on the board here, that would be a big help.
$44. $52.
I think he was probably playing on the red to the opposite corner. But nothing wrong with this option. It's already the highest break from either player in this match. First half century we've seen.
3.
not got over the line. And I think that could be end of break. Well, he does have a couple of possibilities. He could try a difficult cut into the middle. He may also have a difficult pot which would require the rest to the left corner. Or does he just take his 32-point lead and run for cover? Gone for the cut, and he's got it. But he's still going to need one more red after this black. So he can't just drop it in. This looks good, so it should all be over now. Well, I just can't believe what I've seen there. For the second frame in a row, he's looked absolutely certain to win the frame and has somehow contrived to pass it up. And looking at the way the balls are placed, Milkins could very well steal this one. Well, this would be remarkable if this was to happen 2 frames in a row. He had done all the hard work, and there had been a lot of hard work to keep the break going and get to that position, and then just misses. Such a
6. 7.
It would have left Milkins needing 2 snookers. Oh, he's overdone this. Well, I would say surely that's going to be frame and match now, but after some of the things we've seen in the last couple of frames, wouldn't want to speak too soon.
Oh my goodness.
That is absolutely beyond belief. For the second frame in a row, Selt has potted frame ball yellow and inexplicably contrived to snooker himself behind the blue. He's asking for the white to be cleaned, but I'm not so sure it was a bad contact, and even if it was, I don't really think that explains it. I think this might actually be the strangest match I've ever commentated on. You just cannot believe how similar this is to what happened in the previous frame. Previous frame, Selt pots the yellow to to leave Milkins needing a snooker, but in doing so, snookers himself behind the blue, then fails to hit the green, giving Milkins the snooker he needs. And exactly the same thing has happened in this frame. Throw in that match ball red that Selt also missed. Not to mention the interruption for a broken pocket. And it's an awful lot of extraordinary incidents to pile into a best of 5. And it's not even over yet. I think you could ask Matt Selt to replay those 2 shots on the yellow that he's played in the last 2 frames. Give him 100 goes and he might not get it once. Well, you just knew the match was going to finish like that. Incredible. After all that, snookered on the green, flukes the pot, leaves Milkins needing 2 snookers. You would say that should be it, but after some of the things we've seen over the last 15 minutes or so, don't think I'll say that just yet. But barring yet another unlikely twist, what it's all going to mean is that Rob Milkins will finish the day with 1 win out of 3, and Matt Selt will finish it with 2 wins out of 4. And Milkins will be back on the table 11 o'clock in the morning for back-to-back matches against Anthony McGill and Ryan Day. Selt will be second on over on the other table against Ben Wollaston. Well, it makes a certain amount of sense to pot that brown, because now it's 1 snooker to tie. And by potting the blue, that now means it's 1 snooker to win. But of course, only pink and black left on the table to try and get it. Is that in?
6.
It is. Well, the look on the face says it all. What an extraordinary finish to the match that was. Matthew Selt somehow contriving to not get over the line time and time again. But eventually he's won. Break of 68 in that frame was the highest from either player in the match, by quite some distance in fact. And it's a 3-1 win for Matthew Selt, bringing an end to the first day's play on this table. Play will resume on table 1 at 11 o'clock.